Previously on Breaking Point 2.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top three finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
Great race out there today, just in the highlights. What do you say?
Jackson. Yeah, cheers, mate. Bin's over there. Yeah, nice one.
Can we talk about what happened with Devon?
Several weeks later at the Australian Grand Prix, Chapter 8, a strong start to the season for Connor Sport has the team in high spirits as the paddock heads to Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. Except maybe Devon Butler isn't in quite high spirits. Despite us winning the Bahrain Grand Prix, he looked pretty dejected. He looked like he had something else on his mind, maybe disassociating a little bit with some inner demons, and whilst Aiden was talking away, just wasn't even zoned into the conversation. And despite making his father proud, still didn't seem too happy about it in the phone call we had at the end of the last part. And, to be fair, his father doesn't help by handing him backhanded compliments of, I'm proud of you, but keep it up. Let's not have this be a one-time thing. So there are a lot of different intricacies and, nuances to the man that is Devon Butler, apparently. But I, apparently, virtually have a big prediction for the top three. There'll be a massive mid-tier shake-up as Connor Sport put all to shame. So that's my hot tip in-game from social media, apparently. We've got some emails about coming in early, about trying to squeeze some performance out of the car. Casper's just wanting to push us both on to continue to perform like we did in the previous races. And then we've got a very interesting one from our PA. So we've got a Yarra Valley private tour booked and confirmed. So that's something that Devon's going to go do. But also, Nigel Mansell's driving gloves have finally arrived. The auction house was extremely apologetic. Should I just, you may not care about where I put them, perhaps somewhere on show in the basement. Honestly, I still think that was an incredible amount of money to spend just to annoy someone. So if you remember in the previous part, when playing as Aiden, his PA was going to try and bid for the Nigel Mansell gloves whilst he was racing at the Japanese Grand Prix, and it was failed. They didn't get it, and it was quite upsetting for him, and the PA was just like apologetic. Well, here we go. It's come full circle. Devon was the one who won the bidding, and he bought the gloves knowing Aiden wanted them just to annoy him. So you can't feel too sorry for Devon. He's still an absolute arse, but there clearly is something more going on. As there's one more thing the PA wants to talk about. She's had 2 calls now from a private clinic, mentioned something about an appointment that Devon booked, but Devon won't talk about it. And she's asking, do we know anything about it? Can you call? So, private clinic. So, I've spoken already about Devon, disassociating maybe. So I'm wondering, is there maybe a mental health aspect here? Is he struggling mentally and he's got some problems that he wants to actually take care of with an actual doctor, a physician at a private clinic potentially, and doesn't want to give anything away because obviously F1, very big mental game. You have to be strong mentally and you have to be with it. So maybe he wants to keep it on the hush-hush to not let anyone in the team or his father know, or even his PA apparently. So, okay, that gives us a little inkling. Maybe there's something more going on that clinically Devon wants to try and solve. But we're going to have to see what the repercussions are as we go on through, as we go to mid-race at the Australian Grand Prix. A solid performance in qualifying has the team in a good position at the Australian Grand Prix.
Here comes Butler. Good pace here down the straight. Into the corner we go. That's a little too late, and he nearly goes off the track on the exit. And is that a lapse in concentration?
I think just a little bit of desperate driving there, Crofty. He's pushing way too hard. I mean, there's nobody else around him at this stage.
Okay, Devon, we're going to have to ease off from the brakes. Brakes don't feel right. Okay, we'll have a look at it, but you're going to see a drop-off in performance, I'm afraid.
What? Why?
We've asked you to take it easy on the last lap, but pushing has made the issue even worse. So we're just going to have to live with it for now.
What are you talking about?
Listen, just do what you can, please, Devon. Come on.
Well, we've got a very interesting and left field race and objective here. Hold on to as many positions as you can. That's it. There's not even a number of positions, just as many as we can. I think we'll try and not lose any positions if we can help it, but we've got brake issues and the car is not slowing down. So I really like this kind of different style of gameplay where maybe something's wrong with the car and we have to drive around it, giving us some different scenarios rather than just a flat out race. And so with brake issues, and I feel like the car's also got some sort of turning issue as well, because it's really just not turning in as we want it to. Maybe further problems have been caused by overdoing the brakes, etc. But it's proving difficult maybe to slow it down, so we're going to have to brake so much earlier than every other car around us. The Ferrari is going to get squeezed out, and that's what we're going to have to do all race long. But again, with the, Devon not like listening into the comms, etc. So again, is he just spacing out mid-race, which is horrendous mid-race if he's spacing out in the way he did when he was just chatting to Aiden? So clearly Devon's demons have not been solved, and we're just looking to try and bounce back from the damage he's done on the brakes here as we squeeze out Sainz again. And then into these slower corners, this is where it's a real issue. Like, this corner just cannot slow it down in a decent time compared to the Ferrari and Alpine behind us of Gasly. And oh, mama, massive tank slapper. That was an insane save. We went full opposite lock, and actually ironically that slowed down the Ferrari and Alpine, and now they're a few nearly a second back from us, fighting each other because of that huge tank slapper. So taking a bit of inspiration from Jenson Button back in 09 at the Brazilian Grand Prix, drifting a little bit to try and spook the cars behind us of getting off throttle. But lap 12 of 15, we've got 3 laps left to try and survive. So far, we're doing pretty damn well, I think, if I do say so myself, at keeping every single position that we can. We've literally not lost a single one, so very much trying to fly the flag and do the best job we can with these absolutely shot brakes and this literal donkey of a car, it feels like, in the corners as well. It's just not got much grip as well. Don't know if that's just maybe some of the tyre. We're also on the tyres, etc. We saw in the cutscene Devon pushing the car very, very hard as well through, a bit of the grass and the runoff, so maybe the tyres are a little bit gone as well. Lap 13, the Ferrari gets fully alongside us. We get the elbows out, squeeze him out. We've got the bonus objective as well of staying ahead of Jackson. So Jackson's in that pack now, so we've got double motivation to try and keep them all behind us, because if Jackson's in the train, I don't think he's going to overtake anyone and try and come up against us. So try not to lose positions, and then the bonus is staying ahead of our teammate despite these brake issues, which still would be a pretty damn neat feat, I think, despite us causing the problem. Obviously Devon causing the problem that he's now in, but it would be quite good if he was able to drive with the problems then and still see this through for some points paying positions of P9. But you can see I'm having to lift off throttle in some of these corners, so it's not even just the brakes, there's something else going on with the car as well, because it's just not got much grip going on as the Ferrari really wrestles itself to try and go around the outside. We get a bit of tyre banging going on and get the elbow out for maybe a couple of last times. We're now on the last lap of the Grand Prix, super slow into turn 1. That's going to push Sainz back into Gasly, but then we're going to have to brake so early for this corner, lose all that time that we've gained by being so slow in turn 1. But I think that was probably the most dangerous part of the circuit on the last lap. I think we will be fine to bring this through. Max Verstappen will win this 2023 Australian Grand Prix, and unlike in Bahrain where we won the race with Devon Butler, we have to limp home for P9, but we've done the job. We've not lost a single position in this race, and we finish ahead of Jackson as well. Main objective and bonus completed. Bosh.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Look, this isn't the first time we've seen Devon Butler go rogue, but the question is, what are Connor Sport going to do about it?
Well, it's really hard, as we've seen so many times before, Crofty, in the past. So hard to control your drivers. In a way, they're their own entity, but on top of it, they're working for the team, and that's what you want. Very hard situation to manage.
And working for the team, Casper Ackermann wanted to make a clean break for this year. This does feel, though, that it's something that they might have had to have dealt with last season.
It's really not what they wanted. A repeat of what happened in the past, and you cannot let it go on. It can't continue. They're just damaging the reputation of the team and their own reputation as well. They have to sort it out. I'm sure they'll be having words.
So it's all changed here in Australia, and as the teams acclimatised to their new standings, so will we. Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
And now, after that difficult race, it's time for an interview with Pinkham. Let's see how she grills us about
Now,
that.
Devon, you didn't respond to a team order today. In Hungary last season, you said it was a comms issue, but Connor Sport claimed they didn't know what that issue was. So, are they hiding something? What's really going on here?
I think the PR answer here is just to say I'm not going to fuel any speculation. If we say it's another Connor Sport issue, they'll be annoyed. If we say mistakes sometimes happen, that's going to be back on us. So I think we use the unlock level 4 answer of I'm not going to fuel anything, kind of no comment, basically.
Look, anything I say is going to be taken out of context. So I'd rather not fuel that kind of speculation. I'll debrief the team, and we'll figure out how we can stop it happening again. That's all there is to it.
Devon, you finished the race with a compromised car today. What was that like for you?
Now, this is where we can be a bit more egotistical. Compromised car, I think it was a pretty straightforward... it was a pretty straightforward situation for me in the cockpit. Obviously, I lost no positions in that race, so it was fine.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward, you know. Obviously, it wasn't going as fast as we all wanted it to, but, well, you saw the race. I got the best out of a bad situation. That's just what you have to do sometimes.
Now, some have been saying that you do get preferential treatment because your father funds the team. What do you say to those allegations?
Now, this is a hot topic. It's practice for a team to prioritise their best driver. That's probably not going to do us any good in terms of the reaction, although it is an unlocked answer, an extra answer. But I think the right-hand side is the better one to go with. Father's money has no bearing on the natural talents. I think that's something Devon would definitely say, playing on his ego.
That always strikes me as really odd, like as if the only reason that I'm fast on the track is because my dad funds the team. You know, how is that an explanation? It's ridiculous.
So how do you expect Connor Sport to perform this season based on your performance so far?
And this is a final chance to just get a little punch in. We're going to divert attention to Aiden and go. We can only go so far with Aiden on the team. That's classic Butler deflection technique. We had the issue. We didn't listen to team orders. And yet we're going to talk about Aiden doing her... he did finish behind us still.
Actually, I'm sorry to say the team's got a serious problem. And its name is Aiden Jackson. And I'm afraid to say he is the slowest driver on the grid. So there's only so good a season you can have with something like that going on. But you know what? We're going to try our best. No. No, seriously. I'm teasing. But come on, Aiden, come on. What's going on, mate?
That sounds like the more
That's
normal
great,
Devon Butler. So he's in high spirits despite that car issue, but the team might not be as we go post-race. A promising start turned into a difficult end with Devon having to finish the race with a compromised car. Never something you want to do, really. And maybe some headaches for Casper Ackerman as he tries to figure out what on earth is going on. But we get a result from developing the car. We made the right decision then about moving the car development to this year, 2023, in a previous answer we did with Casper. Obviously, come on now. I've played enough my team to know you have to move development over to the next year when you can. And then he said what? Devon refused to comment on what happened. Speculation's rife. I think we go with no comment. Let's not. If we support him, that's wrong. If we criticise as well, there's going to be questions asked. So let's just go with the middle ground. No comment. We've got to investigate ourselves.
You nip this in the bud, Cass. Do you hear me?
Andreo.
Butler, what was that out there today? I will not have a return to last season. We are a team. He cannot be allowed to do just what he wants.
Just calm down, I have it under control.
Well, this is Devon we're talking about. There is no control. He nearly lost the car, Casper.
But he didn't. You know what it gets like out there. I'm sure there's an explanation.
Or an excuse.
And we'll find out. I'll be racing it at the debrief, okay? So I'll report back to you.
Okay, hang on. Look, I've got to go. I've got Davidoff on the other line.
Of course you have. Enjoy.
Oh, Andreo's been here. He's done that. He's already heard the comms issue answer before. So he's getting a bit peeved off. Is there maybe an inquiry to be had? Is Devin on thin ice? And is that how maybe we see Callie Mayer come into the picture? Because we know Callie's there in the background having one F2. She's not racing right now. She's just there in the background as a free agent. Is that going to be it? Is this situation going to lead to maybe Devin being fired and Callie stepping in maybe if Andrea is really that peeved off and Casper can't calm things? As Lucas Weber, throwback to the past from the original story mode in F1 2019, gives his honest opinion about Devin. But we've got a debrief about diagnosis about Devin's car, and then Davidoff obviously is absolutely on Casper in the same way he was on Andreo about the issues today. All know certain things will be temperamental come race day, and he doesn't want the finger pointed at Devin for blame. So Davidoff still towing the line that it's nothing his son's doing, there is something else wrong at play, or he won't have the issue thrown to Devin. And then we've got an email from our wife, Zoe. Saw the race, not much drama to deal with, but then I guess there always is, right? Still cheering for... So the daughter of Casper, Lily, she's still cheering for Aiden. Zoe's cheering for us. Hang on in there. Yeah, we will, Zoe. We will. And I'm sure there's going to be some inquiries to be had now.
No, it's a big deal when one of your drivers decides to do their own thing. So I called him out on it at the next team meeting.
And what was Devin's reaction?
Well, he denied the whole thing. Blamed it on a comms fate.
Which I thought was strange. The same thing happened the year before when I was principal, and he gave the exact same excuse.
Oh, questions are being asked, and they will be answered maybe. Several weeks involving Devin, Connor Sport management have started to ask questions. As the grid heads to Imola, Casper looks for clarity from his driver.
Yeah?
You wanted to see me?
There he is. You're a difficult man to pin down. Right, I'll cut right to the chase, Devin. Tell me what's happening.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's not just disregarding team orders. Paddock talks. People are saying you've been distracted, that you're ignoring them completely. Now, my job is to make sure the team works smoothly, like clockwork, so I'm just trying to work out what's going on.
I told you, check the comms.
Yeah, the comms are fine, Devin. We checked. What's going on?
Nothing.
Just cut that out. Show me some respect now.
Okay. I heard the order. All right? You happy?
Why ignore it?
I'm feeling it, Cass. The pressure, paddock gossip these last couple of months.
Oh, come on. You're Devin Butler. You are the paddock gossip.
You've heard what they're saying, right? You've seen what they're writing. Driving on daddy's money. It's making me second guess myself.
Okay. We can work through that. Start changing the team narrative.
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, I'd like you to see someone from the medical team. Just to be sure. I've booked you in for this afternoon.
No, Cass. Look, I've got a race to prep for, okay? I need my head in the game. I'm fine.
I get that. That's fine. But I want you to see them straight after the race. Understood?
Yeah. Fine.
That was a pretty open conversation between Devin and Casper. I thought Devin would just shut up shop, but he actually gave Casper some respect there. Fair play. Right, so Devin admitting he's feeling the pressure of everything on his shoulders, and the questions about driving on daddy's money are getting to him. So is that it? It's just niggling away at him, and it's really messing with his mental state, maybe. At least that's what he's saying to Casper. He wants Casper wanted him to have a medical check. So I don't know. Obviously we know Devin went to a private clinic as well. So is there going to be something that they can find that the private clinic's not, or will they find whatever the private clinic has found out, be it, you know, mental health issues or anything like that with Devin Butler? I guess we're going to have to find out, basically. But social media aflutter about the conversation about Butler's behaviour. Is he, you know, all right, you know, and the situation with his dad, etc. And, you know, a family affair. How many Butlers is too many is the press brief. Quite a fitting one there. After a disastrous event at the Australian Grand Prix, which Butler seemed to openly ignore direct team orders, to start a reflection of an incident last season. The Schumachers, the Verstappens, the Rosbergs. Formula One is filled with father-son dynamics, but with Butler Sr. as the primary investor and Butler Jr. driving, it can imagine rather the unique situation of Connor Sport. So this is talking about maybe what are they going to do? Are they going to fire Devin, etc. if this keeps going on? And one would trust that Casper Ackerman would find the balance between these two different forces of father and son. Interesting stuff. And then we've got an article about humble beginnings, about Aiden just, you know, getting into Formula One life, being able to pay for his, I think his mum's house, I think it was, or something like that. And then Connor Sport's Melbourne mishap is off one of the answers we gave in the interview. And then Casper in the emails just thanks us for our chat, appreciating the honesty. Door was always open. So Casper's been a very good man, good team principal, good leader, having the door open for even an annoying man like Butler to talk about his issues, etc. And then we've got that medical confirmation that Devin has to report to the medic after the race just to get checked up, etc., to see if there's any anomalies. But we go now to mid-race at the Imola GP here in Chapter 9. Feeling the pressure mount, Devin hopes a strong performance will divert the team's attention from any concerns about his health.
Devin, is everything alright? Fine. Just leave me to it, yeah?
Everything does not seem fine in the head of Devin Butler, and we're now at an Imola race where we just got overtaken by the McLaren. We're down to P16. It's not been a good race so far for us. We have to recover. The objective is just to finish the race, but I think we need to do better than that. I mean, clearly, based off the blurb of the intro into this race, we need to try and push back the pressure and try and prove to the team that nothing's wrong and that we're A-OK. So we go chasing after Oscar Piastri, but even our engineer was concerned like everything's okay. So I think definitely that medical check is going to maybe find something that is wrong, maybe with Devin, as we go round the outside of Piastri and close up to Logan Sargent, getting some words of encouragement from our engineer, who's seeing us pick up the pace after being quite slow in the first two-thirds of this Grand Prix. 6 laps to go. P14, I reckon maybe. Could we even aim for points? I don't know. We've got Hulkenberg, Bottas up the road, then another Haas. That's 3 positions. So that'll be just on the edge of points. I assume Jackson is somewhere in the points, so we need to try and get a move on then in 6 laps if we want to try and get into the points by the end of the race. If we try and make a move on Hulkenberg, he's going to leave the door open for us on the inside. I was actually tempted to go for the outside move, but Hulkenberg just taking the natural racing line, so instead we go for the inside, and now catching up to Bottas. P11 is just there, and then we've got clean air to push for points. Bottas gets very defensive. I thought he was going to move to the left for the natural racing line. We get a warning for collision as we get a little bit flustered behind the Alfa Romeo. 2 warnings for collision there, so that's maybe doing the opposite of, calming the team down, that we've got no problems in the car. But now closing to Magnussen, fast after the Grand Prix as well, on the soft compounded tyre. And with 5 laps to go, I reckon we have enough in the tank to maybe reel in Lando Norris for 1 points-paying position on the McLaren. But we're going to have to try and make the move first on Magnussen again. They're very, very aggressive. Magnussen turning in. We didn't want to give any room, and we wanted the overtakers. Now we've got clean air to try and close up this 4-second gap. Not even Norris. De Vries in the AlphaTauri. We're going to get him, and we're into the points. We're into points, and we can go further and maybe get Lando Norris as well. And Aiden Jackson, our teammate, who's only 6 seconds down the road now on lap 13. We get past the McLaren, and then we get clean air to chase after Jackson. Or so I thought.
misjudges it and clips the curb. What a mess!
Devon Butler, with that move, is out of the race. He won't want to see that too many times. We want to see him out of the car, though. That's good news.
Big relief there, although he does still look a bit unsteady on his feet, Crofty.
Well, thumbs up to the crowd, but I'd imagine after that, he'll be quite shaken.
Hey.
I'm done, Casper. I'm done.
It's okay. It's okay. It was his hearing. He'd been keeping it from us. I think maybe he'd been trying to keep it from himself. I mean, he was at the height of his career. Yeah, what can you say?
How did you feel?
I was devastated. But 5 years in F1. Can't argue with that. I mean, most people never even get the chance, so. And I was still one of the best while I was out there. You ask anyone.
How did you feel when Devon left?
How did I feel?
An absolute bombshell has just landed here in Breaking Point 2. Devon is retiring from Formula 1, or he's out of the team, and we're going to have to pick up the pieces next time out. Guys, if you have enjoyed that, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for the next part coming out tomorrow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was a bit emotional at the end, that was.